Kaizer Chiefs take on Orlando Pirates in the Soweto Derby. And you and I both know that neither Chiefs nor Pirates have been doing well in their recent games. Yes, they won their last games respectively, but the overall form is not so great. So Calvin Johnson has a question and a decision to make. What are you going to do? Are you going to go out guns blazing and say, I am destroying Pirates, I am not afraid of Pirates, I'm going to play the most attacking and beautiful football I can think of and destroy Pirates and risk conceding goals at the back? Or are you going to say, you know what, I cannot afford to lose today, so the best thing for me to do is to be as compact and as organized as possible and play for a draw? Which is the same thought that Jose will be having. Fans are not happy with me, so why would I go out and risk everything and risk this job only for me to lose the game and have the fans throw things at me? I think we both understand where these coaches are. So let's look at how Calvin Johnson will set up to try and play a 0-0 draw against Orlando Pirates. Hello and welcome to Coast Nation Fan TV. I am Pelo, I am your host, and this is where fans meet and talk about Kaizer Chiefs. Amakusi Football Club, starting with a big decision of the goalkeeper. Brandon Peterson, overall, when it comes to shot stopping, he does really well compared to Kune. But he also makes silly mistakes. Itumeleng Kune, people are saying every shot that is taken is a goal. So shot stopping, not so great. But he's not making silly mistakes. So Brandon Peterson or Itumeleng Kune, Calvin Johnson has to weigh that up. But I think he made his decision by dropping Brandon Peterson midweek. Because if he brings him back, it just tells you two things. One, that's a low vote of confidence on Kune, and you don't want to upset one of your senior team players. And I know there's no player who's bigger than Chiefs, but come on, it's Kune. And given how many mistakes that Brandon Peterson has made, it's clear that it's much easier to say, let's risk it with Kune than risking it with someone who has made mistakes and fans are actually angry, and it's been proven that they're angry with him with the things that they've been saying on social media and everywhere. So Kune starts. Right back position, Ref Rosler. I will just insert this here. I'm not saying I want Solomons to start tomorrow because that would be too risky to experiment with someone. But what Frosler does not have that Solomons have are two things. One is the fact that when you go forward as a fullback and you are playing in the system where you are asked to overlap, your recovery pace must be much quicker. And the pace of Solomons is much higher than that of Ref Rosler. So that's one thing. Because Pirates will be looking to exploit that space. It's the same thing that any other team that we play against tries to do. They try to exploit the space that is left behind by Frosler. And in last year's derby, we saw that Solomons was very quick in coming back to close those gaps. Secondly is his dribbling. Because when we are going forward, Frosler is okay technically with playing the balls into the box. But the dribbling of Solomons I still preferred. Anyways, Frosler has been solid, so I hope that they can compensate for who's going to cover for him in that midfield trio, which we are going to talk about, which you might not like. Left back position, we are going to have, obviously, Dove, because why would you play Shanti if Dove is available? And centre-back pairing, that is where things start getting tricky. Because there's been question raised about Titloko. Some people are saying he's the one who's not been subbed and things are still going bad. And Titloko must understand that he's playing for Chiefs now and he should start playing the ball forward and not going back all the time. He's talked about how many back passes our team makes in a game. So Titloko will still play because you don't want to change a player in a derby like when it's a derby and then you've been playing him all throughout the season, because there's going to be an imbalance, because at the very least you need someone who's been there and who understands the system and who can command the backline. Although I haven't seen him being vocal, that's just a side note, because when he's playing I would see Msimango being the one who's vocal, and also I see Ungobo being vocal if they're playing together. So that's just another interesting thing to say there. Which brings us to Jabulo Ngobo or Kevin Msimango. I saw some people saying Kevin Msimango is not good, Jabulo Ngobo must come back. But I still say if Pirates decide tomorrow that we're also going to be safe but catch them on a counter, so let's play Usaleng as a 9. Do you think Ungobo is catching up with Saleng? Because Ungobo is not as quick as Msimango. If they're deciding to play aerial balls, who's better aerially between Unjabulo Ngobo and Kevin Msimango? We both know the answer. But obviously, there is an argument to be made for Njabulo Ngcobo because in all the games that he has played, he did almost make a mistake, but there was nothing that much that went wrong. But I still think with the coach bringing back, giving him Simango midweek, I think he's the one who's going to be a preferred starter. So back 4-2, Frosla, Dove, Msimango, and Titlok. Midfield, this is where it gets interesting, and this is where people are going to say, no, why would you do that? Because before we talk about midfield, please do make sure to like the video. Let me know what you think about the video, and also subscribe, follow, and do all of those nice things. Sibongiseni Mthethwa wasn't available midweek because of an accumulation of yellow cards. So was suspended, served the suspension, and now will be back. And is going to walk right into that starting 11, because why would you bench the best defensive midfielder, if not second best defensive midfielder in the country? It does not make any sense, so he's going to play. But remember, we said the team will be playing it safe. And also, besides playing it safe, one player who's consistently appeared in every Kaizer Chiefs match this season is Yusuf Mat. He's not going to be dropped tomorrow. And I will also say this. Yusuf Mat's best matches have been against Orlando Pirates. I will say that without any shame. Matt has played best whenever we played against Pirates. So they're also not going to drop him. And also, why would you drop Castillo, the man who can score goals for you and also adds the physicality in midfield, but can also create some things? So I do think those three, as much as most people will not like it, will still play. And the question will obviously be, what about Mshini? Well, about Mshini, he's going to continue playing after the derby, or he can also come in the second half, because Mshini, when you think about it, creatively, that boy can cook. That boy will do everything you need from a number 10. He will do everything. The 10s, Mshini Mnandi. Mnandi Mshini, hands down. But that's a derby, and you need players who are going to be working really, really hard, especially if you are trying to not lose the game. Because you know why I always keep on emphasizing this. I don't think either coach is trying to win. Both of them are trying not to lose. And you will see in this game, if I'm wrong, well, I'll be wrong. But I doubt I'm wrong. So I think that as much as Umshin can offer us a lot, he will not be playing. And I do think that eventually what will happen is probably Matt will get dropped, and then it will be it will be Castillo and Mthethwa and Matt in front of them, and Ngcobo in front of them. But for now, I still see those three playing. Which brings us to our forwards, Mtutuzi Shabalala as the left winger, that's a given. And then right winger as well, you have Utoli. Which obviously I'm mentioning them that quick because they haven't done anything wrong, and they've given us a lot in these games, because you're going to need also some individual brilliance when it comes to Mtutuzi Shabalala, because he can take people on. And sometimes, since we're not going to be trying to go so fast forward with Abo Dove and maybe keep him inverting in midfield, then you are going to need the ability of Mtutuzi Shabalala to take on people and eliminate them, and to also tuck into midfield and play those 1-2 combinations, and also turn the fire up. Because remember, if you are not playing Nkosengphile Ngcobo, then you are going to rely on your wingers to create chances. And as they invert, if they do allow Dove or Frosla to overlap, then if they're inverting, then the ball is passed to Frosla, who then passes the ball to Toli. That's how we scored one of our goals. The ball came from wide to Toli. Toli plays the ball into the box, and then we end up scoring. So that's kind of the patterns that we are going to see. And Vele, that is why I think the coach will not see it as a big deal to not be playing Nkosengphile Ngcobo, although it kind of is a big deal because he's the most creative player that we kind of have. Anyways, we're not there. We are in this situation of who then plays the number 9. Because after a very long time, our striker that we signed, Ranga Chivaviro, is it Chibabiro, finally scored a goal in the midweek fixture. But then after scoring, there is also a division here. Because some people, I say that he then just became selfish. He wanted to take a shot every time. I'm like, why are you doing this? Some people are saying he didn't become selfish. He was just now confident. But now you are confident at the expense of the team, because now if you are going to now start taking shots while you are further away from the goal, what are you doing? So There's that, but there's also the fact that if Pirates do come out guns blazing, then Chiefs will have to decide, are we playing a speedy winger? Because right now with Dupree, as far as I know, he's still injured, but if he were available, he would definitely start the game. But I also do think that what Calvin Johnson will go for is a speedy striker. And in that case, it would be Usaile. Why? Because if Pirates are attacking us and then we win the ball back, we need a point of reference, or not a point of reference, but a target man who can run really quick. It's not even a target man. It's more like a person who's going to be able to chase the ball on his own and go score. Can Ranga do that? Not necessarily. He's more of a box striker rather than a give me the ball in front of me and then I will rip havoc. So I do think that Ranga will not be preferred in this game, although in normal conditions Ranga should be starting the game. But in this time around where we are trying to catch them on a counter, which we have seen when we played against teams that we are kind of afraid of, we tend to go for players who are speedy up front. And already with Dolly and Mtu, you can clearly see that those are not the paciest players. Mtu can run, Utoli can also run, but the pace of Dolly just came back from injury, gained weight, and even on Wednesday I saw him running. It's not make sure. So I do think that with them being our creative players, then you are going to rely on your number 9 being an explosive player. It rhymes. What do you think the coaches will do? What would you do? Let me know down in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, remember, equals Alpelumoy.